chapter of In Love at Ease, which is all about embracing all. It's about a particular figure known as Pramukh Swami, who was so lovely. He was literally in love at ease all the time. This chapter is all about how he embraced everyone, especially those whose voices weren't heard, those in minorities, those who weren't being recognized by their superiors. Let us learn from his selflessness here. India's ancient social order was meant to be a fluid system that allowed mobility for individuals, but also a shifting scale of power and import for the entire varnas, the social classes, also called castes. Some of you may have heard of them. There are ample examples of both types of mobility and flexibility from different time periods and geographic regions on the subcontinent. That system came to be perverted and sedimented over time by those from within society who were hoarding more power, and later foreign colonial powers who found it more beneficial to prescribe permanent value and station to the varnas. This aided these new foreign rulers in understanding and governing their newly acquired colonial assets. Important markers of Indic social life, such as mutual respect, empathy, and generosity, eroded over time, and the Varna, which is the caste, and the Jati system manifested as a power structure which marginalized entire communities. These perversions eventually led to widespread injustice that was combated from within and outside the Hindu community. The Bhakti poets, those poets that wrote about loving devotion, from the 15th century through 19th centuries, the Sikh gurus, and many other social and spiritual reformers played a major role in the fight against this marginalizing system. They supported the subaltern within the community and resisted the atrocities in the name of religion, faith, and tradition. Bhagavan Swami Narayan was one of many prominent social reformers who fought back against the effects of this social system in the late 18th and early 19th century. His social reform work in Gujarat caught the attention of community leaders from within the Hindu tradition as well as British colonial rulers. He integrated Dalit and Adivasi communities into mainstream society. He did not just restore their access to temple rituals and worship, but also visited their homes, spoke to them, ate with them, and lived with them. Bhagavan Swami Narayan clearly stipulated that he did not discriminate between humans of different varnas, jatis, genders, and religions. His sadhus and bhaktas, monks and devotees, followed in his footsteps, bringing about a social revolution that would shape Western India and its diaspora for the next 2 centuries. By promoting social class integration, women's education and equality, and mutual respect between religious communities, at least 2 important British historians and travelers, William Hodge Mill and Bishop Reginald Heber, have noted that Bhagavan Swami Narayan had disciples from all varnas, from all castes, and that he integrated them into his community. The scholars note that these distinctions of social order were mere cardinal ordinance, and that Bhagavan Swami Narayan taught his disciples that they should look for judgment according to their works and actions, and not birth. Pramukh Swami Maharaj continued this wave of reform and integration at an even faster and bolder pace. Like Bhagavan Swami Narayan, Swamishri advocated for the upliftment of these ostracized communities and provided them with the resources needed to integrate into urban society, access modern education institutions, and maintain healthy and safe lifestyles. The following interactions share Swamishri's longing to see, hear, and love those who the rest of society would not dare touch. To embrace all, one must place special emphasis on the all. Swamishri was meeting bhaktas after breakfast in Sarangpur. The line of bhaktas kept moving, but two young adults stood at the back of the room. Swamishri kept looking at them from a distance. He gestured them to come to the front of the room, but they politely refused with their hands. The Guru insisted and called out to them, "Please, come near me. I would like to see you and speak to you." One of them responded hesitantly, "We are the cleaners in the mandir, the house of worship. We will have your darshan from afar." Swamishri would not give up so easily. "Come here, next to me. You can come. There are no restrictions. We are all God's children, and our atmans, our souls, are the same." Swamishri placed his hands on their heads. They wanted Swamishri to place a kanti, which is a rosary mala, tulsi beads, worn around the neck by Hindus, around their necks, and initiate them into the community. But he wanted to learn more about them. "Tell me about your families and lifestyle. Do you drink and chew tobacco?" The conversation continued until they agreed to stop spending their hard-earned money on their alcohol and tobacco addictions. Swamishri not only fit in with them, he also wanted a better, healthier lifestyle for them. On another occasion in Sarangpur, a group of youths was standing apart from the larger crowd. Swamishri immediately called out to them and asked why they were standing so far away from him and everyone else. They responded, "Papa, we are Dalits," which is the original term for self-identification, which was used by the youths in this instance. Oh, my apologies. Actually, the word they use in reality for self-identification, which was used by the youths in this instance, is now considered an offensive slur, and accordingly the term has been replaced with the term prescribed by law. So they said something worse than Dalits. I don't know what that was, but they were slurring against themselves. We do not want to offend anyone. Swamishri was moved. "I am a Dalit too. We are all Dalits. We are all the same in God's eyes. Come stand with me and the rest of us. I will be offended if you do not come near me." The gradual, willful misunderstanding of these social orders by the social and religious elite led to clear demarcations and segregation of activities and access in everyday life. Dalits were considered untouchables, and therefore many wealthy and elite members of society would not touch, sit, live, or eat with them. I do think I know what word they were referring to. I didn't know it was a slur though. Swamishri did all of those things with ease and instructed others to do the same. As shown throughout the second chapter, Swamishri's love and attention stood the test of time, over decades and at times over generations. Embracing all is to stand by the unnoticed and to do so repeatedly. Rakesh Bhai Patel is a systems automation engineer in Atlanta. While writing the draft of this book, I met him on one of my long walks on the BAPS Mandir campus in Atlanta, Georgia. He shared an interaction he witnessed over 2 decades ago between Swamishri and his father's, Arvind Bhai Patel's gardener, in Vidyanagar, Gujarat. Swamishri arrived at Arvind Bhai's home late one night after traveling through several nearby villages. Neighbors and family members had gathered for Swamishri's darshan. Swamishri noticed Ramji from the village of Ashi, standing a few feet away in the garden area. Swamishri looked past all of those near him and reached out to the distant Ramji. Ramji moved a few steps forward but hesitated coming any closer. Swamishri approached him and placed his hand on Ramji's shoulder. "Why won't you come near me? There are no restrictions among God's children. We are family, united by the divine." Ramji loosened up and bowed down, but Swamishri raised him up and gave him a warm hug. As Swamishri sat down for dinner, he instructed the sadhus to make space for Ramji to sit right across from him with the other members of Arvind Bhai's family. Ramji was thrilled. Never before had he dined with a world-renowned Hindu guru, or even his employer. Swamishri integrated society by example. By eating with Ramji, Swamishri instructed all those who may have believed in the false rigidities and orthopraxies of the social order system to move past these discriminatory practices and fully embrace those nearest to them. Swamishri's love and attention for Ramji continued into the next generation. 5 years later, Ramji was preparing for his daughter's wedding. He was hoping that Swamishri would be in a nearby village so that he could receive the Guru's blessing for the wedding, but he did not have the courage to ask him to change his plans. Swamishri must have read his mind, because he changed his schedule from Bochasan to the village of Kavita, which was only a few kilometers from where the marriage was going to be held. Ramji came to Kavita to see Swamishri on the morning of the wedding. Swamishri was surprised to see him. "So early, Ramji. What is going on today? A big day?" Ramji was elated that he had noticed him again. "Swamishri, today is my daughter's wedding. I came to get your blessings." Swamishri was in the middle of his morning exercise routine. He grabbed Ramji's hand and asked him to walk with him. He released a barrage of questions upon him. "Ramji, how many people are you expecting? What is on the menu? How many sweets have you organized? Do you have enough money? How can I help? Do you have the appropriate attire for your daughter? Are you expected to give clothes or jewelry to your in-laws in line with your community's customs? Have you made arrangements for the patrala, which are plant leaves used as plates in villages?" Swamishri was panting from the long string of questions and fast-paced walking. Ramji, too, was trying to keep up with Swamishri's pace of queries and steps. Swamishri reassured Ramji that he would help if the costs exceeded his expectations. "Sorry, that I must leave for Ahmedabad in a few hours, but senior sadhus will come to bless your son-in-law. Please let me know how everything goes today. I am with you, dear friend. I am glad our daughter has found a suitable partner." Swamishri not only stood by Ramji but also his daughter. He remained sensitive to the customs in Ramji's community and provided accordingly. To embrace all is to understand people's needs, to give them what they need, and not force upon them what it is that you want to give. And let's pause our reading of In Love at ease there for now. So thank you for listening.